Welcome to Eternal Manna, the daily devotional broadcast of Grace Gospel Church. We are looking at Psalm 61, the Psalm for the fainting heart. And we are looking at 10 reasons why David had a fainting heart and why we have a fainting heart. Thus far, we have looked at 8 reasons. You may want to go back to the earlier broadcast and you may want to listen to it again just to refresh your memory as to what these reasons are. And again, I want to encourage you to pass these on to your friends, forward them to your friends, because they need to hear this word. And let the word keep moving on. Don't let it die with you. Pass it on. So today we want to look at reason number 9 as to why David had a fainting heart. Number 9, David felt that God was not listening to him, that God was disinterested, that God was aloof. David loved to talk to God. David loved to pray. And what is beautiful about David's prayers are they are brief. They are not lengthy prayers, but they are very honest prayers. But at this particular stage, David felt that God was not involved in his life and that God was not listening to him. It's not only God, where are you? But God, why have you switched off? The telephone connection at your end is dead, God. I'm not hearing anything. I always say communication is a two-way street, right? Communication is a two-way street. I talk to someone and that someone talks to me. One of my frustrations with emails is that even though I send messages to so many people, there are many times I don't get a response. And then I bump into that person somewhere. And then I ask that person, hey, how come you don't respond to my emails? And, oh, were you expecting a response? Yes. Why do you think I communicated with you? And I said, I remind them, communication is a two-way street, right? A relationship dies when there is no communication. Isn't this one of the major problems in marriage? Lack of communication between the husband and wife, between parents and children. So David felt that in this two-way communication that God had switched off for whatever reason. David felt that God was not actively listening to him and taking note of his situation and responding to his situation. So one of the big causes of fainting is that we feel that God is not listening to me and no one else is listening to me. Or maybe we say, they pretended to listen to me, but they were not really listening. And that's very true. There are times people pretend to listen to us, but they have not really listened. One of the things that I try to do is I try to take some notes. And if I'm talking to a person, I have a sheet of paper and I scribble down a few points about the conversation. And when I come back home, I process it. How best could I respond to this? So I want to encourage you to do that in your conversations, that you would really listen. You would take down a few points about the conversation, and then you would come back home, process it, and then prayerfully consider how best you could respond to the content of the conversation. So David fainted because he felt God was not listening and no one else seemed to be listening, and he felt terribly alone, and he felt so insignificant, so unwanted, that he went into this fainting spell.